Now, Iceland has been battered in the global economic storm. A banking crisis, its economy in tatters, and violent anti-government protests. It was last autumn when the country's banks collapsed under massive debts. Its currency has plummeted, while inflation and joblessness are soaring. Well, Iceland's Prime Minister, Iceland Helga, has announced that national elections will be held early. Well, let's stay with this story because I'm joined by the Icelandic journalist Helga. A very good day to you. Thank you for joining us. He said he's going to call an election, but the other thing which was quite conspicuous by its absence was an apology, which I imagine a lot of Icelandic people want.
Well, yeah, people are very angry and scared of their future, I think. They've been demonstrating for 3 months since the banks collapsed in October, peacefully and quietly, demanding the government to resign, the governor of the central bank to resign. But nothing has happened. Nobody has taken or accepted responsibility over what has happened in Iceland. And the outlook is bleak. Thousands of people are losing their jobs. Many people are frustrated. You know, the mortgages are getting higher.
Sure. So it's really reflecting some of the problems that we're seeing elsewhere in the world. But the interesting thing as well is that the Prime Minister has called these elections for May. He's ill. The chairman of the party has also had a health scare. So is it feasible to expect a government to function sensibly, given that some of the key players, well, there's a question mark hanging over them because they're unfit?
Well, yeah. Well, he just announced today that he was diagnosed with a tumor. So we didn't know anything about that. We just saw a government and they didn't accept any responsibility. And after the new year, after 3 months of demonstrating peacefully, it escalated dramatically and ended in violent riots a couple of days ago. And then finally they took some action.
But interestingly enough as well, one of his coalition partners has, as I understand it, they've said that they haven't actually approved of this election as well, so it confuses the picture.
Everything is confusing, really. We don't know whether this government will be in office till 9th of May. We don't know at all. Both leaders of the coalition are ill, both of them. There are strange things happening in the political atmosphere, and the Icelandic public is angry, and everybody wants something, some change, and some dramatic changes to boost the economy right now.
And it begs the question, though, what can people expect? Because one would imagine that people are pretty cynical. So do they feel that regardless of who they vote for, they're still going to get more of the same?
Yeah, and the solutions aren't really clear. What ought to be done after this collapse? Maybe people just want them out and get fresh and new people with new ideas and something to boost the economy. But the anger is massive, and I don't know what people can expect. Maybe they ought to work together.
Yeah, so really difficult time, obviously, but Helga, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio.